Hey everyone, I just wanted to show you a mod that I did for my JJRC X1, and here it is. And as you can tell, I totally scrapped the stock frame. I just got annoyed because every time I would have like a small crash with it, it would crack the frame, or one time I crashed into like a bush and the arm completely got torn off, and it was just getting really annoying. So I wanted to get something a little bit stronger, so I bought this frame. It was only $14 on Amazon. It's made out of G10. And it's a little bit heavier. I mean, it's definitely, you'll feel the weight compared to the stock one, but it flies fine. It doesn't even seem to notice it. And then I also put these lights. These are lights actually from a SEMA X5C, and I had bought some extra LEDs. They're only like $1, and just in case they burned out on the X5C that I have. But I never ended up using them, so I just had them laying around. So I was like, oh, you know what, this will be good for this. So I soldered them on to the cords that it came with for the stock lights. I just with scissors cut off the old lights and soldered these ones on and put some shrink wrap on there. So I have some really bright green in the front and then some really bright red in the back, and that helps a lot with orientation, especially with the X1 where it has those terrible lights. It's a lot easier to see with these lights. The frame was really easy to put together, and like I said, it was only $14, really cheap. So if I've crashed it already, and it didn't even scratch, didn't do anything. So it's a lot more durable than the stock frame. Yeah. So if you look at it, actually, this is the front, and it's supposed to be facing the other way. The front's supposed to be on this side, and you can see there's there's supposed to be a plate here for the FPV camera, but I took it off to save weight. And then the reason I flipped it was because it was really front heavy, and I would have to have the battery like hanging off the back just to get it to fly stable. And so I just flipped it around, and now I have more weight in the back, but it seemed to balance it out a lot more. So now the center of gravity is towards the center. So if you see, it's like probably like right here. Let me see. It's about right there is where center of gravity is. So with my run cam on there and with the battery right here, it flies really stable, really smooth. And if I don't fly with the camera, I just have to move the battery around, and that's really easy to do. Inside, you can see I took the circuit boards off with the ESCs and the receiver and everything. And I just put like 3 layers of the 3M double-sided tape in there, and just to help hold it in place and help with vibration dampening. And I put a couple in between the two, and then I added some hot glue on the antenna just for more strength. And then I just have it running out the back right here. The motors went on really easy. I just used the screws that it came with. They might be a tad too long, so I couldn't really tell if they were hitting the coils inside, but it didn't seem like they were. But if you want to be on the really safe side, you could probably just buy some slightly shorter ones. But for me, they work fine. And yeah, it's really good. It flies really smooth. I'll add a video at the end showing it flying. But yeah, definitely, like, if you're gonna, you don't have to use X5C lights. I'm sure you could find some other cheap ones if you want different colors, or some with more LEDs. But these ones I just had laying around, and they work pretty well. So you could easily tell what the front and the back is. The only thing I don't like is these standoffs that they use as feet, because I have a feeling if I'm going fast and I hit the ground, it's gonna get snagged, or it'll probably just rip off the leg. So I might even just take them off and use like some foam padding as feet. I've seen other people do that. But yeah, it feels really super sturdy. Definitely there's more weight to it, but it flies fine. You'll still be able to hover at 50%, and it's easier to mount a camera on here too. And I have my battery up top and my voltage meter. It just makes it a lot easier to work with. And yeah, I recommend it. Like I said, the frame is only $14 on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. And if you have a JJRC X1 and you're not happy with the frame, I mean, I wasn't happy with it just because I said, like, I kept breaking. I would crash onto grass, not even from high up, and it would break, and it was just really brittle plastic. And I noticed the top half of the frame would break more than the bottom half. So I don't know if they're using 2 different types of plastic on that frame, but I just totally scrapped it and just like, I'm just gonna buy this cheaper frame. And like I said, I've crashed this into grass, and had a pretty hard one actually, and it didn't do anything to it. It held up really nice, and it just feels a lot better. And I think it looks cooler personally, but it's up to you. And like I said, it's only $14, so if you do break something, it's not a big deal to replace. But yeah, just stay tuned for that video at the end, and you could see how it flies and see the stability of it. And totally recommend doing this to your X1. I mean, it doesn't even look, besides the propellers, it just looks like a total different quad. Almost looks like a little racing quad. But obviously it's not going to have the same capabilities as like a one you build on from scratch. But yeah, totally recommend. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.